Hi, this is Chris at the Wyoming State Library with a short tutorial on Novelist Plus. Beginning here at gowild.net, you can select Novelist Plus alphabetically or under some of the subject categories. Novelist Plus is a reader's advisory tool for fiction and nonfiction. It includes audiobooks. This is a great way to help keep kids reading, find your next beach read, or try out a new genre. There are many ways to use this as a reader's advisory tool, beginning with the search box at the top where you can search by keyword, title, author, series, or because we have audiobooks, narrator. I'm going to select title. Now it brings up my title where you'll see a description and appeal terms, genre and writing style. Notice under genre, this is also a books to movie. They've just added that to our genre. I also like having the writing style indicated. That's a great way to search for more books. There's always a persistent link to this book and an external link to look it up in Wildcat. This will open in a separate window, and you can see which libraries in our state own this book or audiobook. It also includes Goodreads, which is another great way to help folks with their reader's advisory. Below all of that, you'll have your reviews, Publishers Weekly, Library Journal, and Kirkus. If you're in Kids K-8, you'll also get School Library Journal. You'll also see there's a tab for audiobooks. If the book is available in audio, you'll have that tab, which will give you, very important to our library patrons, the narrator, the duration, and if it's abridged or unabridged, and again, some adult nonfiction indicators and Wildcat link. Within Novelist, you'll also have listen-alikes in audio, read-alikes for books, and author read-alikes. So let's go back out to the main page and look at some other ways to get to books. Notice down the center, the first section is I'm in the mood for books that are. And so here it describes, using those terminologies, and by reading level, adult, teen, 9 to 12, and 0 to 8. So for example, if I click on teen, now of course I have angst-filled and awkward, character-driven and LGBTQIA and diverse, upbeat and engaging, things like that. So here in angst-filled and awkward, if I hover over a title, it will pop up a short description of that book. If I wanted to go into that book, I just click on the book jacket and it brings me into a rec. Notice that this one has more appeal terms. In addition to genre and writing style, it also has themes, character, storyline to go along with it. It also, because it's a teen book, it also has grade level, Lexile, and accelerated reader. We can take these storylines and characters and scroll down here to the next part that's great about this, and that's the search for more. Notice that we're seeing character-driven, issue-oriented, dealing with mental illness, characters, tone. So we have angst-filled and realistic fiction. So all of those terms, plus others within the description, come down here in the search for more. So if we did angst-filled and teenage girls, and I can search for more titles. Now here we'll give you a list of the titles, including the one we just started from. And if we scroll down, you'll see all of these that show up under our search for more, find more. You'll also see that there are series listed, which is great. I can click on this series. This happens to be number 10, but it will give me each one of the books in order. And I can print that list out in a grid, compact, brief, or detailed list, and then print that out. Then they'll have a list of those books in order by the series number and the date. I'm going to go back to the home page. Below that is a browse genre, and you'll see it's for adult teens ages 9 to 12 and 0 to 8. Again, if I click on one of those, ages 9 to 12 this time, it breaks it down into genre, fantasy and science fiction, realistic, thrills and chills, and nonfiction. Again, if I hover over the book jacket, it will give me a description. And if I click on the book jacket, it will take me into the record. Yet another way to get to more books based on a specific title is, notice on the right-hand side, there are read-alikes. These are submitted by real people. So if I hover over one of these book titles, it will give me the author, the description, and then it gives the reason why that person selected it to be a read-alike. For example, Chester Nez and the Unbreakable Code. You can then agree or not agree with this recommendation, and they may or may not pull that. So again, if I hover over the second book jacket, again, it gives me the description and the reason that's been added to these read-alikes. At the bottom, you'll still have your search for more. And if I scroll down a little more, those read-alikes also appear out here on the main page that you can use to search. So I can look at their featured read-alikes. For example, Secret Sisters. Again, I pop that description up, or I can go straight to that book. So you're going from the read-alikes list to a title, to a list of other read-alikes on the right, and your search for more at the bottom. The last place I want to show you to find books, and that is here on the left-hand side, recommended read lists for fiction and nonfiction. Notice that I can do it by all 4 of those age breakdown categories. So for example, adult fiction, I can go to historical fiction. It will pop open this book and it will pop open this box, and I can click on biblical fiction, for example. And in this case, rather than a specific title record, I have a description of what biblical fiction is, and then I scroll down. Notice it's contributed by a real person, and I scroll down, and here are the recommended reads under biblical fiction. I can do the same. Let's go 0 to 8 now. And I can do, for example, growing and learning stories and dealing with death. So perhaps you have that issue that you need to find a book, and here's a variety of books that they have recommended. I do want to show you teens on this, because they've got some great categories for teens, and what a great time of year to encourage them to read and not fall onto that summer slide. You'll notice that it's got fantasy and science fiction for fans of, so for fans of Star Wars, for fans of The Walking Dead, for fans of Sherlock. They also have if you like, and so if you like Hunger Games, or if you like Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, it will give you a list of books. It also has some quick reads, sports stories, as well as, and I'm going to click on this one, and that's the graphic novels and manga, and several categories under that. So you may be able to get some of these teens into a graphic novel over the summer. So back on the main page, I now want to show you these tabs at the top. You can also browse by genre and appeal. We looked at those appeal terms and genres, and this way you can go through many of those and browse books. There's also a category especially for working with youth or readers advisory. So if you're working with your staff on readers advisory or getting more acquainted with a specific genre, this gives you a toolbox for that. It also includes book display ideas, books to movies, and book clubs. There's also a quick links, and it takes you straight to a list of author read-alikes, some book discussion guides, book to movies, common core and curricular connections, and some great ones, grab and go book lists and picture book extenders. So if you're working with, say, Parrots Over Puerto Rico, it will give you a whole little discussion with questions, tying it to Common Core standards, and gives you some related titles and who the person is that wrote this, and where you can go to learn more about this person. So what a great little piece to add this summer is those quick links to those picture book extenders, as well as these grab and go books. The next tab over is How Do I? And that's how do I find read-alikes, find books by grade or Lexile, print save, things like that. As well as on the far right, you'll see that you have a help link. There's also a quick tutorial on that, but you can also see on the left-hand side, how do I find read-alikes, searching using your search history or search modes, browsing by those genres, viewing your results, viewing details. So there's a lot of help information here, including, for example, I clicked on viewing your search results by Lexile. It links you to a handout that you can print off on a search strategy, for example, finding the just right books for this summer. If you want to exclude the adult level books, we also have Novelist K8 Plus, which is especially for those young readers and does not have the adult category. Notice that it has the recommended read list, but just for the 3 kid ages. I'm in the mood for, browse genres, read-alikes. All of that is still here. We've just eliminated those adult level books. Novelist is a wonderful tool to help keep folks reading this summer, and I'll hope you'll take a time to search through it, find your own books to read, and find those for your patrons and those kiddos coming in the door. Thanks for joining in. Bye now.